y'all doing today?
What's up? What's up? What's up, y'all?
What's
It's
going
SW
on?
Podcast. We in the building virtually.
Virtually,
um,
it's
it's
Wednesday.
Wednesday, y'all. So welcome to another episode of SW Podcast. It is what the 28th of September. This is
28th of
the last
September.
week.
Man, this
This is
is
the
what we
last
got.
week,
Two more
y'all.
days. 2 more days. Thursday and Friday. The first is the Saturday.
It's the last week.
Wow, man, this month. Ooh, this month that went by this year. We're going into the third quarter, the fourth quarter, the
The
last
fourth quarter
quarter
of the year.
of the year. So we're leaving out the third, going into the fourth. Look here, parents. Christmas is coming.
And while we're talking
But
about the last quarter, let's go ahead and send up some strength, energy, and power to all the people in Florida right now that's being affected by Hurricane
yes,
Ian.
yes,
We have
yes,
people all over the state. Everybody has family members, friends, somebody they know all over the state. So
everywhere.
if you have not done your due diligence and reached out and checked on the people that you care about, and don't be sitting there like they ain't reached out to me, they the one going through it. Reach
You
out
need
to
to call
them.
them, text them, or Facebook them, or something. You need to do something
Contact your people. Contact your
because they
people.
might can. And then right now, depends on what the storm at. The last time I checked, it was like Naples and that little coastal area,
Mm-hmm.
southwestern coast. And baby is traveling and my family is there. Polk County, all like
It's
baby look.
traveling. It has left
And it's yeah.
the Hillsborough County area. Now it's heading up the coast. So that's like Kissimmee, um, like Queen said, the Polk County area. You guys just take cover.
Orlando, all
Make
of that.
sure that you guys are prepared, and well, you only can be prepared for whatever you can be prepared for, because
Yeah.
you don't know what's going to happen. But for the people who are in the
Jacksonville, I
area,
think
definitely be looking out.
Daytona, all of that. And then it's gonna curve what North Carolina, Georgia,
Hmm.
then it'll die on out. But
Yeah.
man, look, my prayers go out to y'all cause look, it was supposed to come our way. But who knows? The storm do
It
what it
could turn,
wants.
it could do whatever it want to do. It
The
doesn't, we're
storm
not
do
in
what it
control.
wants. Mm-mm.
We are not in control of everything. So let's just make sure that you strapped up with the things you need, and that you guys are making sure that you're looking out for your family, calling your family, because
Yeah.
it may
They may
be
have to come stay with you.
I was that, or you may have to be shipping them items, which is
Hmm.
why I was really uneasy with the people who overbuying in our area, because with
Oh,
this area being an area that's not going to be completely impacted, we needed to be able to have the stores and good stocking
hmm,
matters, so that if something happened, the stores, they could ship things down to other stores, or if we need to
yeah,
go and grab things for our family, we can do that. And that's the purpose of having people in other cities, so that you could reach out to them. It's not all about who is impacting, it's the people who is not, because if it's not impacting you and you got this house full of stuff, I hope you are not going to be selfish enough and send it to the people who you do care about if they need it. So
yeah.
get
I
my
mean
little
that overbuying over water, and it was crazy. But I went in Publix Sunday. I was surprised they had water everywhere.
well,
They
Publix
had
don't, they
water.
didn't really run out like that. They only ran
Yeah, they had
low,
water
and then
everywhere.
they will pull stuff out the back every couple
Hmm.
hours, because they're not going to put all their stuff out there, and then people running through the stores, they're gonna continue to stock. And
Hmm.
that's what I do like about them. They didn't completely run out. But for the people who just did that, a lot of selfish spending, those are normally the ones that always be trying to go and return stuff. I don't need this. I
Yeah,
don't need
I
that
don't
now. And
need
now
this.
you
I
should
use it. I use it. Keep it. Keep
keep it,
it.
because we
Give it to
still in
somebody.
hurricane season, not
Yeah,
just
we
for
got it
that
all the way
purpose.
to
We got a whole
November.
all the way through November. So but welcome to SW Podcast, y'all. For the people who are not affected by the storm, we hope to have y'all tune in today, especially what in other areas, because anybody else, we expect them to be doing with their due diligence with their families, tuning in with them, taking care of them.
Hmm.
Um, But for you, the viewers and listeners in our areas and other areas across the world, thank y'all for tuning in today. We got a good show for y'all today, and the the content is I don't want anybody to feel slighted or as if this show is directly toward you, because sometimes our guilt has us feel like, dang, she's talking to me. I don't know your business, so I'm definitely not talking to
And
you.
don't want
But
to. Don't want to. Don't want to. Don't want
but if this can help you, that's what the show is for. Like if you are one of the people who are affected by the savior complex, we definitely want to talk to, direct some of the content towards you so that you can allow it to help, straighten up some of the things you got going on. Um, but the savior complex is normally like that Captain Save 'em energy. And
to.
girl, I know
No,
I'm
you do
tired
not
and
want to be
everything.
taking on nobody stuff. Trying to be
No.
Captain Saver. You don't want to be taking on people's stuff.
Mm-mm.
No, no.
I remember one of my daughters told me, she was like, I don't want you to be the savior this time, mama. And and at first I was
Like
like,
let them be, ma. Let them be.
well, she was talking about for her. And
Mm,
the thing that it kind of bothered me because I was like, dang, my kid don't want me to, but then I thought about it. I was like, it's literally based on the fact that she want to figure this out herself. You
herself.
know what I'm saying? Versus me being
That's
the person.
mature. That's
It's a
mature.
mature thing to do. And I appreciated that. So, but we're going to jump into the quote. The quote is, you won't become a saint through other people's sins.
Ooh, you won't become a saint through other people's sins.
So this is the perfect
Sin
quote
is
for
sin, no matter what sin. It's all sin. It don't matter.
it's
Not one greater than the other.
it's a
It's
perfect
all
quote
sin.
for the actual savior complex theory, because a lot of people feel like when they do something, they can check it off and say, I did this. So therefore, I don't have to worry about this. When I'm doing wrong over here on my side, I'm doing right over here to save the people, save this person. So forget the wrong I'm doing because I'm
Hmm.
doing just as much right.
Hmm.
So that quote reigns true, because let me say, I used to always feel, and I think a lot of people did, that if I do more right than I do wrong, then God gonna bless me anyway.
Hmm.
You
Oh,
think God
especially
gonna
as a
forget
kid.
about? But
Especially.
do you think the Most High is gonna forget about what you did?
Nope.
I mean, yes, good things that you're doing can counteract some of the things that you're doing bad, but does it take away your bad? Especially if it's something that you continue to do.
Mm.
So, I
Well,
mean,
well.
the you won't become a saint through other people's sins is a very I like that. I really do.
I like
Hey,
that too.
Kels,
Hey, Kels.
how you doing today,
I
buddy?
like that too.
And
Because you
because
won't. You really won't.
you can't. You gotta go through your things. You gotta realize that yes, you can go around and do good, but you should not expect good to come to you because you do good.
You do good.
Your good is supposed to be because you're a good person. I want to do good because of the nature of
And it
who I
should come
am.
from your heart. It should really come from your heart if you really doing it. Well, some people do stuff for show. Some people do stuff from their heart.
And that's why we're having this conversation today.
Hmm.
Because there's so
You
many
need to
people
do
that's
stuff for
right
your
here
heart.
doing things for show, getting accolades for it, but don't even go in the communities they serve. Like you'll go out and say, I bought this for this community, or I'm doing this for this community, but not actually
Hmm.
going to the
Not actually
community.
going and doing it. Hmm.
Yeah. So we do have to get we have this. I don't know. When I saw this today, when I not today, when I posted this today, I was like, this is gonna be a good quote um
For the
for the
topic.
conversation, for the topic. It matches perfectly with what we're discussing. because you got the always trying to save people theory, but you also doing it for what can come to you. And to me,
Hmm.
that's not from the heart. But if you're a person who doing things from the heart and not expecting anything in return, that's not a savior complex. But the complex comes from, oh, I gotta videotape what I'm doing. I gotta
Oh
let
yeah.
somebody else know what's going on. I have to sacrifice so much of me just to give to them. That's not a
Hmm.
that could be
That's
turned
crazy.
into you needing to be saved then.
Yeah, like that's crazy. But it is true.
It's so many people like that, and we're gonna talk about that today. I'm telling y'all, we're not gonna like drag conversation, but we're gonna it's so many different plots to the savior complex that people don't even realize. Because once I was doing my research on this and understand, I was like, God damn, I almost fell into this before. And not
Hmm.
not the portion of doing it for a show, the portion of like I'm draining myself
Yeah,
trying to help somebody
trying to
else.
help somebody else. Yeah, I think
That's
we a lot of us
draining.
done been through that and
So it's
didn't know
not
we had
something
that
that, and you don't even
complex.
exactly, you don't even see that as what it is. You just see what you trying to do and how you trying to penetrate to help the situation. So let's
There
jump
was a
into
lady
this
having a
conversation.
conversation about
Go
that
ahead,
too,
Queen.
and was having a conversation with this group that I'm a part of on Patreon, and that's
Mm-hmm.
what she was telling the guy, and she was like, "You a person that love people, you like people, but is it your ego that got you doing what you doing? Even though you love these people, is it your ego? What do you get out of it? Is you doing it from the heart?" And she was just sitting up there. She had to diagnose. She said it's a little bit of both for you. You doing it from the heart. It's a little bit of your ego, and you trying to save everybody, and you can't.
And you putting a lot on yourself
You
doing
putting
that.
a lot on yourself doing that.
A
So
whole
some
lot.
it is your some is the ego.
Mm-hmm.
It is the ego. Girl, you know what
So
I did for her?
and
What you did?
and don't do that. Don't come to me talking about what you
Right.
did.
Okay, that's what you did. Appreciate it.
So it's understandable to want to help a loved one in a bind. But what if they didn't want the help? Would you accept their refusal, or would you insist on helping, believing you know exactly how to handle their problems for them? The savior complex
Mm.
of the white knight syndrome describes this. I keep, ooh, girl, hold on. Ooh. I keep saying that. Like I just said a few minutes ago, I know I'm tired, but why am I yawning at 6 something in the evening this early? I don't need to be trying to get, I can't go to bed this early.
It's too early. My mama said
It's
she's
too
in the bed.
early.
I be like, Mom, what? It's just 7 something. You in the bed?
It's too early. I
Girl,
can't.
yeah.
I'm
Mm-mm.
not ready to go to bed yet. So, what does it look like to be that person? In general, people consider helpfulness a positive trait. So, you might not see anything wrong with trying to save others, but there's a difference between helping and saving.
And
Um,
saving.
the savior tendencies can involve fantasies of uh, fantasies. In other words, you believe someone out there is capable of single-handedly making everything better than that person is supposed to do for themselves. That's a problem.
What? That's
That's a
crazy.
problem. Good evening, Jay.
Crazy. Hey, Jada.
That is a problem. Anytime you feel like you can live somebody else's life better than them, that's a part of the
Child, that's
savior
crazy.
complex.
Yeah, that's crazy. Child, tell you don't want to. You don't want to be trying to live nobody else day to day because you don't know what the hell they got going
You don't know
on
what they
day to
had to
day.
walk through to get there. You don't know what
What?
they had to
You
talk through
don't
to
know
get there.
none of it. You don't know if they getting their head bashed in at night when they get there. You don't know.
But you want to feel like you can put their shoes on and walk their life better than them. And
Mm-mm.
that's a part of the savior complex, because you're trying to change people. You might think you know what's best for those you're trying to help. For example, you may know you just know that they can improve their life by taking up a new hobby, changing their career,
Mm-hmm.
or changing a specific behavior. And you tell them this, they don't hear you. I mean, they hear you, but they don't follow it.
But they
Now
don't
you
hit you.
Now you feel like, oh, your advice is the best advice, and they need to take heed to it. Do what you say, and if they don't, then they're gonna fail.
Boy, look, I think I know somebody like that.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
But
They
we
always
have that
right.
because we always feel like we're supposed to be doing things to make other people's lives better. And you can't make you don't ever, without knowing a person's backhand story or the
You
what
can't
the
make
things
it
that they've
better.
been, you cannot be the person who gives
Mm-mm,
them direct and specific directions for their
mm-mm.
life and think that they're supposed to follow it. You tell them to go, okay, go take $100 and go put it in your savings account and watch it, or in a CD account, and watch it grow. Next thing you know, they locked up because they went and tried to rob somebody for them $100. You don't know
You
people's
don't know people
backstory.
backstory.
You got to get the details before you start just trying to tell people how to live their life and what to do with their life and how to handle themselves accordingly. You don't
You got to
know. You
ask a
don't
lot of
always
questions.
know
And
exactly.
they ain't gonna always tell you the full story either.
And a lot of it might be lies.
Mm-hmm.
If you're the type of person that always needs to find a solution with somebody else's problems, hmm,
Uh-uh.
not every problem has an immediate solution, especially big issues like illness, trauma, grief. So telling somebody to take up a new hobby in the middle of their mother, father, daughter, sister,
Or
husband
whoever
dying, you
that's
think that's
close to them.
advice?
Well, you need to go do such and such. Maybe you need to
Because
go
I
out and
did
go
it.
paint. This what worked for me. Well, this is what. Now I'll give. Look, this what worked for me. You gonna have to find out what worked for you. But
But
this
I'm
what
not
I
trying
did.
to give nobody no advice in no grieving process. Because
Mm-mm.
I
Because
can't tell
people
you how to
grieve. Everybody
grieve.
grieve different. Everybody grieve different.
I don't know. I just be thinking that, like, when I hear certain things, even when I hear people describe certain things, I'm like, okay, you can hear the trauma in the situation, but they're not taking the opportunity to even recognize their own trauma right now. So don't you point it out.
Hmm.
Everything is not for you to try to solve.
And why you want to solve it anyway, though?
If you have
I'm
the
trying to solve my own
if,
problems.
if you have the mentality to think that you're the only one that can help somebody, that's a part of the savior complex.
Mm,
It's a million people in this world that probably done what you did, and
yeah.
you feel like your advice is the only advice that's gonna fix it.
Hmm. And we all
People,
probably done that at some point in our life to somebody. I can recall doing that to somebody. And that's when I realized, you know what? These people don't want none. They want to live their same lives like they always want to live. So I ain't even gonna deal with them. That means
and
it's
that
just
ain't
time to
even the
get around
response.
something
That
new.
ain't even the response to even have for that though, because
Mm,
just because it's not something that they want to do because of what we said. Again, we don't know the full situation. Like,
hmm.
it's some people who will come and talk to you about stuff, and sometimes you can kind of hear the untruths in the details. You can hear the untruth, but you sitting there still trying to put their story together. That's not your job,
And you get frustrated
and
all
you
in the
get
beginning. Oh, and
frustrated.
you get frustrated
You ready
because
to
you trying
argue
to
with
say,
these
well,
people, fight with these
they
people.
just said, now you just said, she just said, da 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 da. You just said, da 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 da. And you try to put the story together. The story ain't coming together because you already smell the lie, but you want to believe it.
So bad. So bad. And
We want.
a lot of the savior complex comes from you helping for the wrong reasons. Dog. Let
Oh
me say,
yeah, I say
dog,
you got to come from the heart.
if you're not doing this because you feel that this is something that you want to do from here, you're doing it for the
You're
wrong
doing it for
reasons.
all wrong reasons. All the wrong reasons. You got to do stuff from the heart.
And the heart don't mean, oh, I'm gonna help them out today because I know on Friday I got a bill to pay, and if I help them out today, God gonna bless me by Friday.
Child, please. He already did. You already. You, he
The
already
fact
know
that
you
you
don't
can
want to
open
do it
your
anyway, and
and the
say
fact that
that.
you open your eyes on Friday, that's your blessing enough. It ain't nothing. Everything ain't every blessing ain't financial.
Mm-mm.
And if you're looking for some type of saving while you saving, you wrong.
Mm-mm.
The savior
Every blessing
complex
is
is
not
a
financial.
theory of income uncompromising. I can't get my words together. Uncompromising things that are not willing to compromise. And that's normally what it is when you're dealing with people who are playing the victim and they want to give and they want to be saved. You're
Mm-hmm.
hearing a whole lot of uncompromising situations, and then you give them a little bit of advice, but they got, oh, I can't do this for everything that you say. They don't want that help.
They don't want that help.
That's not what they're looking for. And at that moment, you know that that's your cue to leave. I can't help
Mm-hmm.
you
Because they're gonna
because
keep
you
having an
always
excuse.
and for
Excuse, excuse.
every solution I have, you got another excuse.
Yep. Yep.
How we gonna live like that?
Ooh.
Hmm.
I know
Okay.
several people like that.
Okay. So thank you again. Now we're gonna talk about the victim complex inside the savior complex. Um, People with the savior complex often believe they are somehow better than others because they help people all the time, leading to feelings of being morally superior. In addition, the savior complex can induce feelings of um, uncompromising situations, making people who experience it prone to believing no one else can save others that the way that they can. What we already said, as far as the victim
Mm-hmm.
complex, and and the savior complex also can hinder the growth of the individual who's being aided, and constant attempts to fix their lives can lead to codependency. They neither
Mm.
learn to take responsibility they neither learn to take responsibility for their own actions nor develop independent internal motivation because you have stepped in and become their savior. So now they're the
Wow.
victim. They're codependent. They are, and this is also leads back to my first key point, why people pleasing is a common human instinct. Um, People pleasing has always been something that people have done. From we do it all the time as
Yeah.
kids. We're trying, mommy, you saw me do this, mommy, you like that,
Mm-hmm.
mommy, we did that, mommy. As you get older, you like my shoes fresh, ain't it? My shoes this, my shoes that. You like my hair, can you do my hair like
Yep.
that? I like your hair too, I want to look like that. All these different things are signs of people pleasing because you're used to doing things to please other people. However, once you become a victim, people pleasing is your key source because now all
Mm.
you've done is went from, I know if I tell them this, they'll do this.
They'll do this. Hmm.
What's happening? Who got the energy to
They do though, Queen.
live every single day?
They
Millions
do.
and millions of people are like that. You got people right now that have the savior complex even with the government.
Yeah.
So it doesn't just ominently disappear. People really know that this is who gonna come in and do this every month. I know every month on the 13th I'm gonna get my food stamps. So
Mm-hmm.
we gonna have them first 3 weeks of groceries. Then that last week I might have to buy a couple things, but by the end of that week, them food stamps gonna be on that card. If they
Mm-hmm.
are not on that card, how y'all gonna survive?
They're gonna be calling them people, cussing them out.
It's everybody else's fault.
Mm-hmm.
That's the victim mentality. But at some, they never said government assistance had to last forever.
You should
So
not
it's just
want it to
certain
last.
ways that we become victims in denial to victimology in our lives on a regular basis because we're not paying attention to the things that we could be doing better for ourselves because we so used to doing.
Got our hand out.
So
Want somebody to carry you.
at all times. So when the victim mentality definitely falls up under the savior complex for those particular reasons. If you know that you are willing to, if a person is not willing to give you the same as you've given them, and
Mm-hmm.
you looking for that, you're not doing it for the right reasons. If a person, so again, that's we rewinded going over
And
what
that's
we
how your
already
feelings be
discussed
hurt.
with expectations. You don't go into doing
Mm-hmm.
something for somebody with expectations. I tell my children all the time, because I live by this method myself. I don't have an expectation for a soul in this life, not even for
Yeah,
my
people
children.
disappoint you. People disappoint you.
I don't have, I don't, why my kids in high school, what my oldest daughter, while she was in high school, whatever she wanted to do with her life was her choice. I never said you have to go to college. I never said you have to do this. I never said you have to do that. I can give you directions. I can say these are things that you can do. These are things you might want to get involved in. If you have interest in these things, you should take those up because it might build your
Mm-hmm.
interest and make it stronger. But I'll never tell you
What you need
that
to
this
do.
is what you have to do.
Yeah.
Because when you start living by other people's expectations, you will fail. You are not even building things for yourself, trying to give people other, trying to please other people. That's a people pleaser. I can't, how can I get up daily to go into a job every single day with the notion of I'm only gonna do this job because I'm trying to make my supervisor happy?
Chabo.
I ain't even on that.
Mm-mm. Try to
So
make
we
her
got
make them happy for what? That's crazy, but it's true.
it's true, Queen.
People do it.
So,
People want to please people.
mhm. And then the other thing about having the savior complex, and you're, when we said earlier, you're creating a codependent person. That's
Hmm.
toxic. You're creating a toxic codependence. And people ask, what is that? What is toxic codependence? It's simply when you have made people feel like the only person that can save them is
Is
you.
you, child? That's a huge responsibility.
Type of
Hold on,
what
sir.
type of who want that type of responsibility?
That mean you got about 10 people because you think you Captain Saver, so you got all these people up here you trying to so-called save, and none of them don't want to be saved.
None of them.
None of them
They
at
just
all.
want to
You might
leech.
have one. Yeah, they might. You might have one that might get it, but still, nah. Take them a minute.
And a lot
You
of
better
people,
save your stuff.
the tendency of codependence develops in childhood. So as a child, you go through a period of dependence when you can't take care of yourself and rely entirely on your parents to fulfill your needs. So if you grew up in a healthy family where you felt loved and cared for unconditionally and could freely express your feelings, speak your mind, and be heard, this dependence is secure. As you grow
Hmm.
up, you can separate from your parents and become an autonomous, independent individual. However, in an unhealthy family situation, things take a very different direction. Importantly, a dysfunctional family doesn't necessarily need to involve alcoholism or any type of addiction.
Yeah.
Parental narcissism and neglect can do just as much damage. And so, uh, parent situations where the child is forced to serve as a buffer between the fighting parents. So that starts codependency.
Oh.
The common trend in all these circumstances is that the child is manipulated with the feelings of guilt, shame, and fear
Hmm.
into becoming a tool of fulfilling his parents' needs and wishes. His own feelings are invalidated and they grow up feeling rejected, shut down, and learn to cope with anxieties on their own. That's
Wow.
how codependence is formed
Wow. Well, a lot of stuff that we go through stem from
from
childhood.
childhood. And then, you fail to recognize your own limitations because this is the only way
Hmm.
you can feel needed and whole is when people need you to do stuff. So he started as a child knowing that if he became a buffer between his parents arguing, that would keep the noise down. That would make the
Hmm.
people in the house happy,
Yeah.
sacrificing oneself to do something for other people. That's the nature of how codependence toxicity begins.
And that's a
It's a
child.
and that's a child. And a child is having to be the one that's going through that.
And there's a lot of children going through that, especially when it comes down to co-parenting
Yes.
and stuff, and how both male and female is, oh my God, the stuff that some people say about their kids' father or their kids' mother around the kid, I'd be like, you know what? Come on, people. Don't be dumb, and especially the women, how they back. I mean, they just. I'm like, you laid with him. You had the
For
children
and
with
not
him.
just once, not just once either.
That's what I'm talking about. Not just one. I told my daddy that one time. God rest his soul. I told my daddy that one time. Like I told her that too. Like what? You laid with him? You got three,
You lay with her 3 times intentionally.
three times.
Intentionally.
So shut up. Shut up.
She
Shut
say shut
up.
up.
He'll tell you. He'll tell you. I like literally like no. You not finna sit up here and you ain't finna. No, I ain't finna let you talk about her, bro.
Well, we don't,
I don't even know like that.
and that's the thing though. Like sitting there allowing it is then in turn giving that person the power because
Hmm.
what a lot of that does what that does a lot is bring separation in your own household because sometimes your person might not even want to tell you that you wrong for bringing them up and they just start having negative vibes towards you
Hmm.
because of that. So
Mm-mm.
you got to be very very careful of how you bring another person into a conversation or bringing in toxic conversation around people who don't deal with that.
Hmm.
You got to be
You
very
do.
very careful with that.
You really do.
And then if you sit in and you get involved in it, now you drain into that energy as well and now y'all both giving energy to a power source that's invisible
That
in y'all
ain't even got.
house.
Mm-mm. Like, hush, don't be talking about it because you don't want nobody saying nothing about me. So be quiet.
Right.
That's just what it is. Be
That's
quiet.
it. How does
Respect her
helping
because she
someone
got them children.
exactly and they yours. So
Hmm.
and you laid there. That's all I
That's it. Period. Period.
how
Period.
how does helping someone or the lack of affect you, Queen? What do you think about that? Like how does when you help some if you're helping someone, not because when you do it, we know it's coming from your heart. So when you doing someone helping someone, or the lack of, or choose not to help someone, how does you feel about that? How does it make you feel? Does it make you feel like you're in the midst of a savior complex, or you just doing something because of that this is for you to do?
I didn't been in the savior complex before. I can admit that. I have been
Mm-hmm.
in the savior complex. But really, anything that I do, I do it from my heart. I just do. I do it from my heart. But I have been in that savior complex, and I had to realize, Candace, and I still tell myself that to this day, Candace, everybody is not you, so you let them people be. I have to tell, like Candace, Candace, stop yourself. This is not your problem. You got your own. You don't let them people be. And I tell myself that because you do, and especially when it's people close to you,
Mm-hmm.
you do want to be like friend, cuz, sis, bruh, mom, dad, you
Yep.
you do, but you got
Yep.
to just you really have to be mindful of stuff that you got going on and piling somebody else stuff.
It's
And then when they gonna
especially
say
on
the
top of you.
same thing on top of what you already
Yeah.
got going on. I had one of my cousins on my dad's side. She was going through something with her mom and her sisters. And I was just trying to, give her good advice. She literally got mad. That girl stopped talking to me, took me off her Facebook, everything. And I was just like, you know what? Yes,
Hmm.
we good. I won't try to help nobody. Don't now you ask me for my advice, I'm gonna give you my opinion. You roll with it, do what you want to do. But this is what I did. Hey, I don't care. You might do something different. I can't tell you what to do. Make your own decision.
Well, like
but it is
I've
hard.
definitely experienced that, and it is hard. It is hard
It is.
because that's somebody you care about. I've
Mm-hmm.
experienced that. I had a really good friend that was we were very close. We had stopped talking for a while. There was some apologies and everything, and we started communicating again at some point, but it was more so checking on you type of communication. And then
Mm-hmm.
she started going through a divorce, and pretty much around the same time I was going through a divorce, and but she just went ghost. And like I would send her messages and check in on her, and I could, because
Mm-hmm.
iPhones you could tell when somebody read it, especially if they messages on read. So I was like, maybe she's just really going through it.
Going through it.
So my messages would be just, affirmations and things to keep her on the positive side, but she would never respond. But I never once did I think to myself, Shelby, just don't send her nothing else. I still did,
Mm-hmm.
because I was like, she reading them. It could be helping her. She may not want to say nothing, but she's reading them.
Mm-hmm. She going through
And
what she going through. Gotta
and
let her
because
go through it.
because I know that that is a very, very dark space to be in, and
Mm-hmm.
everybody doesn't handle it the same
The
way as other
same.
people. So you have to be able to have understanding for people and the things that they're going through. I feel like eventually she'll say something at some point, but at this point,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like everybody needs their time to
Yeah.
sustain and remember who they are, the power that they possess, the thrills that they need to continue to have, to continue to be the parent they are, the woman they are, the leader, the
Everything.
provider, everything that you have to walk around and be in your space. You got to get through certain things. So without her wanting to be a part of the savior complex and being a victim, she just
Mm-hmm.
backed up. I respect that way
Pause.
more than a person who's struggling and going through it and they putting on this face like everything okay, but
Deep down, it's not.
they eat it's eating them up so much. I respect somebody going into a hole more than it is when you trying to be straight up every single day and you ain't going home and letting it out. Cause I could sit up
Mm-hmm.
and I could be fully. I told my daughter that I was telling my daughter that I was like, it no matter what I'm going through, I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna get on, put on some clothes, and I'm gonna make myself feel good about me.
Yeah.
But when I come back into my space, into my house, into my privacy, into my shelter, my protection, I can take all that off and be me,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't mind that. But I'm not gonna
Because
walk
that's your
around with
space.
that right. I'm not gonna walk around with this face on all the time. I can't do that. It's not that's not real.
Mm-hmm. Not at all.
But
Not
you
at all.
gotta but people have to go through things how they go through them, Queen. So even if at some point she may come back around
Yeah.
and have to apologize and let you know what it is, that it was these things that were going on with me at this time. This is happening, this is happening. And you gonna have to have that heart to be able, you know what, I understand. We might not ever be how we were, but I understand.
But I get it. I get it.
You know what I'm saying?
And it's
So
simple. It's just that simple though.
yeah,
But
just
not
that
for
simple.
but I well, not for everybody.
No,
Not for
it never
everybody.
is for everybody.
Mm-mm.
It
Not for
never
everybody.
is. But it's
So
worth it
yeah.
sometime to give it a try. It's worth it.
Hmm. But I will say I do now when I don't help somebody, I do feel bad when I tell somebody no. I do feel
I do
I
too,
do
Queen.
feel bad. I do because we natural givers.
Yeah.
We natural givers. That's why everything we do, it truly comes from our heart because we was born as natural givers. So when I tell somebody no, it don't matter who it is, I be feeling a little bad.
Every time.
I really be feeling a little bad, like dang,
But
Ken, you had you
we
could have
have
did
to
it.
learn how to do better with it though, like standing firm in
Yeah.
them no's, because the reason is because you can't say yes to everybody and everything.
Mm-mm.
Because a lot of, like I said before, a lot of that stuff will drain you. And then you can't fix it for everybody either, because a lot of
Yeah.
times people walk into these disasters knowing that that disaster is already there. But they put
Yeah.
themselves in them. So sometimes you just gotta walk away from a lot of that, and
Yeah,
because you'll find yourself trying to save somebody and help somebody, and then they can't help you. Not that you looking for help, but what I'm saying is, it
they
literally
can't help
means
you.
that they can't, because they can't help themselves.
They can't help you. Unless they end up, growing and maturing and getting to a point that, okay, now it didn't reverse, but it takes some people a while to get there,
It does.
and some people never get there.
It does, Queen.
So,
So,
mm, it's levels to this stuff, though. It's levels.
well, that's our show for today, y'all. We wanted to talk about that savior stuff, because I need to make sure that a lot of us are not out here doing things because we are expecting stuff in return. I want to make sure that we know that how helping people affects us in the end. And when they don't do what you say, a lot of people start to feel that sense of failure. And then
Hmm.
you start to take on other people's problems so strong until it starts to affect your physical,
Affecting you.
to the point where
Mm-hmm.
you're not eating right, you can't even sleep
Mm-mm.
right, because now
Mm-mm.
you have enveloped other people's issues, and that's not where I'm ever going again.
That's not healthy. That's not healthy.
Healthy at
That is
all.
not
It's not
healthy.
healthy at all. If you're not doing things for the purpose of helping that person get to the next phase and making sure that they're not becoming a codependent person, they're not falling into the victim mentality, and all of those things don't make you look like you're falling into the savior complex, that's a good help. But if any of those other things happen in the midst of you providing help to someone, whether albeit advice, money,
Hmm.
food, shelter, anything, and you think that something is supposed to come out of it on the other side for you, you're doing it for the wrong reasons.
All the wrong reasons.
The wrong reasons, baby. So,
Do it from the
Queen, you got
heart. Do
anything
it
you want
from
to
the
tell to the
heart.
people on our way out of here?
Do it from the heart.
From
That's
the
it. Do it
heart.
from the heart. We'll be October, baby, when we come back here
It'll
next
be
week.
October. I have
It'll be
two daughters
October.
that are about. I got so many family members who birthdays in October, y'all. I got a baby who about to turn 18. I got a daughter who about to turn
Ooh.
19, a nephew who about to turn 18, a daddy who about to turn 60 something. Uh
My mama will be 60 the 12th, October 12th. My mama will be 60.
a friend who
Yes.
turning 40, a uncle who in
Wow.
his 40s, and it's just a lot. It's a lot. And I'm happy.
October that month, boy. Look,
October is
y'all
that
was
month.
in
You got
there, boy. Y'all was
the
getting it in
Libras and the
February and
Scorpios.
March.
Yes, they were. You got the Libras and the Scorpios this month, y'all. So everybody
Yeah.
that's again, to anybody that is affected or know anybody affected by the storm, make sure you checking on your people,
Yeah.
reaching out to them, making sure they're taken care of, sending some positive words of affirmations toward them, because that's, you really can't do a whole lot during these times. Like,
Mm-mm.
this is not the time to be the savior. Um,
Nah.
if
Nah. Nah.
it's just
No.
not the time, because
It's not.
this is things that are out of man's power, you
You can't
can't
do
do
nothing
nothing
about it.
about.
Can't
So
do nothing about it. You
so
gotta
just
let it
keep them
just take its
lifted.
process.
Yes, keep them lifted. And they're talking, I was listening earlier, they're saying that people in certain areas may be without power for 3 weeks. So this is why I be knowing y'all, but y'all guessing and estimating how long people gonna be without power. Going on
They
get
don't
these people
really
from these.
know.
Going on get these
They
people from
don't
these
know.
other areas so we can get them on down there out of the eye of the
And they
storm to
already
help
then
out.
went. Like
They left
when I
already
was at,
last night, the
yeah,
day
they
before.
left last night. Yeah, I know they left last night from
Cause
here
I
because I
seen
was over
some.
there on I-10 going to work, and they was it was like 20 of them leaving from
Mm-hmm.
up out of here. So I was like, okay, yeah, they getting ready, and I seen them over there in Jacksonville. Like one neighborhood in Jacksonville got a whole backup generator. I said the whole neighborhood.
Yep. Cause they paid for it through their homeowners insurance.
Hmm.
You
So
gotta, you should,
I pray for
people.
all of them. It's especially a lot of my family. I pray for y'all down there, family,
And all the
friends.
frontline workers, the FP&L people, the
What?
light services, everybody who is on those front lines during this time, that are putting their lives on the line to save other people. Thank y'all
Yep.
so much for y'all time,
Appreciate it.
dedication, and
Appreciate it.
service. We appreciate it, and especially to the ones who are gonna get down there to our family members. I need to. I'm gonna check in on my girls, people later on when I get off
Yeah,
the podcast and make sure they're good as well. Because I heard Key West got hit pretty badly.
yeah.
So, but thank
More of
y'all for
the
tuning in today.
that what southwest side got hit
Mm-hmm.
real bad.
So
And
that's like Fort Myers area.
that's like Fort Myers, Naples,
Mm-hmm.
all that. Cause
Naples,
what is
all that.
the storm coming up through there, and it's gonna curve over and go straight through Tampa, like all of that. That I-4, that's where it's that all of that.
That's where it's
So
heading now
that's
because it done went through
yeah,
Tampa.
yeah. So that I-4 is taking the I-4 straight on out, straight on out. So
Y'all just be
I
safe.
pray for y'all. I
Be
pray
safe.
for
And to the
y'all.
people who are gonna evacuate after the storm, travel safely. Because it's a lot of
Most
people saying they're
definitely.
gonna evacuate because they're in flood. Their houses are flooded. People are flooded. Areas of business are flooded. They're trying to get out because a lot of people in Tampa were in flood zones.
Yeah,
So
Tampa is a
it's
flood
a
zone.
it's a flood zone. A lot of areas in Tampa is a flood zone. They're surrounded by that water. So y'all keep people lifted up. Check in on them. Check in on your people if they ain't answering. Keep checking. Send somebody to check on them. Just make sure everything good with y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in today. We appreciate y'all so much. And if you've done nothing today while you tuned in, make sure you paid attention to how you can get rid of being that person who thinks they can save everybody's life, y'all. We appreciate y'all. We like y'all. We love y'all. And we will see y'all next Wednesday in October. Peace.
Peace.